The Pine Hollow wilderness shimmered under a Montana dawn, its dense pines cloaked in a thick mist, the air sharp with damp earth and cedar. A winding dirt road cut through the forest, gravel crunching under the tires of Ellie Carter's battered Jeep. Ellie, 32, brown hair tied back, hiking jacket worn, gripped the wheel, her camera bag rattling beside her. A freelance journalist chasing nature's secrets, she sought the perfect story. But today, fate had other plans. Her voice was a mutter, scanning the trees. "Come on, where's that elk herd?" A flash of gold caught her eye, a small shape huddled by the roadside. Ellie's voice was a gasp, breaking hard. "What's that?" She stepped out, boots sinking in mud, heart sinking at the sight. A German shepherd puppy, barely 8 weeks old, golden brown fur matted, ribs stark against his skin. His tiny frame shivered, blue eyes wide with fear. Ellie's voice was soft, kneeling. "Oh, little guy, who left you here?" She reached out, but the puppy, Rex, whimpered, crawling away, too weak to flee. A rustle snapped her head up, her voice a whisper. "No." A red fox, sleek and wild, emerged from the underbrush, amber eyes locked on Rex. Ellie's heart raced. Foxes rarely attacked dogs, but Rex was defenseless. A perfect target. The fox, Ruby, circled closer, muscles coiled, tail flicking. Ellie's voice was tense, frozen. "Stay back!" Her camera was in the Jeep, too far to grab, and any move could trigger a strike. Rex's whine was faint, head drooping, unaware of the danger. Ruby lunged, teeth glinting, and Ellie's voice was a shout. "No!" But the twist hit like a thunderclap. Ruby didn't bite. Her snout nudged Rex gently, a soft yip escaping, her amber eyes softening. Rex, too weak to resist, nuzzled back, his tiny tail wagging. Ellie's voice was a gasp, hands trembling. "What the?" Ruby licked Rex's matted fur, grooming him with a mother's care, a wild predator cradling a domestic pup, inspired by real tales of unlikely animal bonds. Ellie's voice was hushed, reaching for her camera. "This is unreal." She snapped photos, lens capturing the impossible, Ruby's tenderness, Rex's trust. Her voice was soft, awed. "You're saving him, aren't you?" Rex's whimpers eased, his body leaning into Ruby's russet fur, strength flickering in his frail frame. The mist swirled, the forest silent as Ellie's heart pounded, witnessing a miracle no one would believe. A twig snapped, and Ellie's voice was sharp, turning. "Who's there?" Jake Ramsey, 40, black hair, flannel shirt dusty, a local ranger, stepped from the trees, voice low. "Ellie." "What's going on?" His eyes widened, spotting Ruby and Rex, voice stunned. "Is that a fox with a puppy?" Ellie's voice was urgent, whispering, "Don't move, Jake, she's not hurting him." Jake's voice was tense, gripping his radio. "This ain't natural. Coyotes are close. She can't protect him." Ellie's voice was firm, shaking her head. "She is protecting him." "Look!" Ruby's ears flicked, amber eyes darting to Jake, a low growl warning him back. Rex nestled closer, safe in her warmth, a canine soul adopted by the wild. Ellie's voice was soft to Jake. "I'm staying." "I need to see where this goes." Jake's voice was wary, stepping back. "You're crazy, Carter. I'll check back. Be careful." The payback hit with a chuckle. Jake tripped on a root, his voice a yelp. "Damn it!" Ellie's voice was a stifled laugh. "Watch your step, Ramsey." Ellie's voice was a whisper to Rex. "You're a fighter, huh?" Ruby's gaze met hers, a fleeting trust before nudging Rex toward a hidden path. Ellie's voice was resolute, grabbing her gear. "I'm following you, girl." The pines loomed, Pine Hollow's secrets stirring, and Ellie's discovery of Rex and Ruby was a spark that could rewrite nature's rules or draw dangers no one saw coming. The Pine Hollow wilderness shimmered under a Montana dusk, its towering pines casting long shadows, the air thick with cedar and the faint musk of damp earth. The forest floor crunched softly under Ellie Carter's boots, her brown hair tucked under a hiking jacket, camera slung across her chest. She trailed a red fox, Ruby, whose russet fur glinted in the fading light, guiding a German shepherd puppy, Rex, golden-brown fur matted toward a hidden den. Ellie's voice was a whisper, heart-pounding. This can't be real. Rex, barely 8 weeks old, stumbled on shaky legs, his ribs stark, but Ruby's gentle nudges kept him moving. Her amber eyes flicked back, ensuring Ellie stayed distant, a mother's instinct, fierce yet trusting. Ellie's voice was soft, adjusting her lens. "You're his mom now, aren't you?" Rex's whine was faint, leaning into Ruby's warmth, a canine soul adopted by the wild, inspired by real tales of interspecies friendships. The den, tucked under gnarled oak roots, loomed ahead, 3 fox kits tumbling out, yipping curiously at Rex. Ellie's voice was a gasp, crouching. "Her babies!" Ruby yipped, guiding Rex inside, the kits sniffing him, their tiny noses twitching. Rex's tail wagged, a weak flutter, as he curled among them, safe in Ruby's care. Ellie's voice was hushed, snapping photos. "No one's gonna believe this." The forest fell silent, the mist swirling, but a rustle snapped her focus. Her voice was tense, scanning the trees. "Who's there?" Jake Ramsey, 40, black hair, flannel shirt dusty, emerged, voice low. "Ellie, you're still here?" His ranger badge glinted, eyes wide at the den. "That fox! She's raising him!" Ellie's voice was urgent, whispering, "Keep quiet, Jake." "She trusts me." Jake's voice was wary, gripping his radio. "Coyotes are prowling, Ellie. She can't protect a pup." Ellie's voice was firm, shaking her head. "She is protecting him, look." Ruby's ears flicked, amber eyes locking on Jake, a low growl warning him back. Rex nestled closer, his whimpers easing, a canine heart soothed by her russet fur. Ellie's voice was soft to Jake. "I'm staying. I need to document this." Jake's voice was tense, stepping back. "You're nuts, Carter." "I'll patrol. Call if you're in trouble." The payback hit with a chuckle. Jake's boot caught a vine, his voice a yelp. "Damn it!" Ellie's voice was a stifled laugh. "Careful, Ramsey." The den glowed faintly, Ruby grooming Rex, the kits curling around him, a fragile family defying nature's rules. Ellie's voice was a whisper, setting up a blind. "I'll watch over you, little guy." But the tension spiked, a glint catching her eye, a dog tag, half buried in the dirt, etched with Rex Pine Hollow. Ellie's voice was a gasp, grabbing it. "Who left you, buddy?" Her fingers traced the tag, a phone number, faded but legible, a clue to Rex's past. Ellie's voice was low, pocketing the tag. "I'll find out." Ruby's amber eyes met hers, a fleeting trust, before she led the kits and Rex deeper into the den. Ellie's voice was resolute to herself. "This is bigger than a story." The twist hit like a spark. A shadow moved in the pines. Tom Hayes, 50, gray hair, vest sharp, watching from a distance, his voice a mutter. "That pup's trouble." Ellie's voice was sharp, turning. "Who's there?" But Tom vanished, leaving only a crushed cigarette, a hint of danger. Ellie's voice was tense to Rex. "You're safe with her, but someone's out there." Ruby's growl was soft, amber eyes vigilant, her russet frame a shield for her adopted pup. Jake's voice crackled on her radio. "Ellie, coyote tracks near the ridge." "Get out soon." Ellie's voice was steady, replying, "I'm staying, Jake, for them." The pines loomed, Pine Hollow's secrets deepening, and Ellie's bond with Rex and Ruby was a spark that could light a revolution or draw a predator's gaze. The Pine Hollow wilderness woke under a Montana dawn, its towering pines piercing a golden haze, the air sharp with frost and the musk of damp moss. The forest hummed faintly, a hidden den beneath gnarled oak roots, sheltering Ruby, a red fox, her russet fur glinting as she groomed Rex, a German shepherd puppy, golden brown coat softer now, his tiny frame nestled among her 3 fox kits. Ellie Carter, 32, brown hair tucked under a hiking jacket, crouched in a blind camera lens trained on the den, voice a whisper. "You're a family, aren't you?" Rex, 10 weeks old, wobbled playfully, mimicking the kit's stealthy pounces, his ribs less stark, blue eyes brighter, a canine soul thriving under Ruby's care, inspired by real tales of interspecies bonds. Ellie's voice was soft, snapping photos. "No one's gonna believe this." Ruby's amber eyes flicked up, sensing Ellie's presence, a mother's trust, fragile but growing. Ellie's voice was hushed to herself. "I'll keep you safe, little guy." The den buzzed with life, the kits yipping, Rex's clumsy tail wags drawing soft chuffs from Ruby. But a rustle snapped Ellie's focus, her voice tense. "What's that?" Jake Ramsey, 40, black hair, flannel shirt dusty, emerged, voice low. "Ellie, you're still here?" His ranger badge glinted, eyes narrowing at the den. "That fox is raising him?" Ellie's voice was urgent, whispering, "Quiet, Jake." "She's his mom now." Jake's voice was wary, scanning the trees. "Coyotes are closing in, Ellie. She can't fight them off." Ellie's voice was firm, shaking her head. "She's protecting him. I'm staying to document it." Jake's voice was sharp, gripping his rifle. "You're risking your life, Carter." "And his." Ellie's voice was steady, pointing to Rex. "Look at him. Alive because of her." Rex nuzzled Ruby, his whine soft, a canine heart bound to her russet fur. Jake's voice was tense, relenting. "I'll patrol nearby. Call if you're in trouble." The payback hit with a chuckle. Jake's boot snagged a root, his voice a yelp. "Damn it!" Ellie's voice was a stifled laugh. "Easy, Ramsey." The forest, a wild expanse of Montana's rugged heart, demanded survival, its code unforgiving yet yielding to Ruby's miracle. Ellie's voice was low, checking the dog tag from Rex's collar. "Who left you, pup?" The faded number nagged her, a clue to his abandonment. She pocketed it, voice resolute. "I'll find out." Ruby led the kits and Rex to a stream, teaching them to stalk minnows, Rex's clumsy splashes drawing yips from the kits, a fragile family defying nature's rules. The tension spiked, a shadow flickering in the pines. Tom Hayes, 50, gray hair, vest sharp, watching from a ridge, voice a mutter. "That mutt's a problem." Ellie's voice was sharp, spotting him. "Tom," but he vanished, leaving a crushed leaf, his presence a growing threat. Ellie's voice was tense to herself. "What's he doing here?" Tom, a real estate developer eyeing Pine Hollow, had pushed to clear the forest, and Ellie's footage could ruin his plans. Dr. Laura Bennett, 45, blonde hair, vet coat crisp, arrived, voice calm. "Ellie, Jake called me." Her eyes widened at the den, voice stunned. "A fox raising a dog." "This is unprecedented." Ellie's voice was urgent, showing photos. "Laura, it's real. But Tom's snooping." Laura's voice was sharp, examining Rex's tag. This is from a breeder. Shut down for cruelty. Rex was abandoned. Ellie's voice was a gasp, gripping the tag. Someone dumped him? Laura's voice was thoughtful to Ellie. His survival's a miracle. Ruby's instincts are maternal, not predatory. Sophie's voice was soft to Rex, watching him play. You're so brave, pup. Rex's tail wagged, amber eyes flicking to her, a canine soul sensing her awe, inspired by real tales of animals defying odds. Ellie's voice was resolute to Laura. I'm protecting them. Tom's up to something. The twist hit like a thunderclap. Clara Evans, 60, silver hair, sweater loose, a local shopkeeper, rushed up, voice breathless. Ellie, found this in my store's old records. She held a faded photo, Ellie's late mother, standing with a young Ruby, a wildlife rescuer's badge pinned to her coat. Ellie's voice was choked, grabbing it. Mom, new Ruby? Clara's voice was warm, nodding. She saved that fox as a kit. Named her Ruby. Ellie's voice was a whisper, tears welling. She led me here. Ruby's amber eyes met Ellie's, a fleeting connection, as if sensing her mother's echo. Rex yipped, pouncing on a kit, his golden brown fur catching the sun, a canine hero tied to a legacy. Laura's voice was soft to Ellie. Your mom's guiding you, Ellie. Ellie's voice was steady to Clara. Tom can't touch them. Not now. The pines loomed, Pine Hollow's secrets deepening, and Ellie's bond with Rex and Ruby was a spark that could save them, or ignite Tom's dangerous ambitions. The Pine Hollow wilderness shimmered under a Montana noon, its dense pines swaying in a crisp autumn breeze, the air alive with the tang of sap and damp earth. A hidden den, tucked beneath gnarled oak roots, pulsed with quiet life, where Ruby, a red fox, her russet fur sleek, groomed Rex, a German shepherd puppy, his golden brown coat glossier now, 10 weeks old. 3 fox kits tumbled nearby, yipping playfully, their tawny eyes bright as Rex mimicked their stealthy pounces, a canine soul woven into their wild family, inspired by real tales of interspecies bonds. Ellie Carter, 32, brown hair loose under a hiking jacket, crouched in her blind camera lens trained on the den, voice a whisper. You're growing strong, Rex. Rex's tail wagged, his clumsy bounds drawing chuffs from Ruby, her amber eyes vigilant, a mother's love fierce. Ellie's voice was soft, snapping photos. This is magic. But the forest's hum shifted, a low growl echoing from the ridge. Ellie's voice was tense, scanning the trees. Coyotes! Ruby's ears flicked, her body tensing, nudging Rex and the kits closer to the den. Ellie's voice was urgent, gripping her radio. Jake, you there? Jake Ramsey, 40, black hair, flannel shirt dusty, crackled through, voice sharp. Ellie, I'm a mile out. Coyote tracks everywhere. Get out of there. Ellie's voice was steady, eyes on Ruby. I'm not leaving them. Rex's whine was faint, sensing danger, his golden brown fur fluffed, leaning into Ruby's russet warmth. Ellie's voice was low to herself. You're safe with her, pup. The discovery of Rex's tag and Ellie's mom's photo with Ruby had deepened her resolve, but Tom Hayes's lurking presence gnawed at her. The den buzzed, the kits scurrying inside, Ruby's growl low, amber eyes blazing. Ellie's voice was hushed, adjusting her lens. Stay calm, girl. But a shadow moved. Tom Hayes, 50, gray hair, vest sharp, stepping from the pines, voice slick. Well, Carter, still playing hero? Ellie's voice was cold, standing. What do you want, Tom? Tom's voice was mocking, eyeing the den. That mutt's a nuisance. My project needs this land. Clear it, or I'll make you. Ellie's voice was fierce, gripping her camera. "You abandoned Rex, didn't you?" Tom's voice was sharp, stepping closer. "Prove it, girl." Rex's yip broke the silence. His puppy barked loud, startling Ruby, who hissed, her kits scattering. Ellie's voice was tense to Rex. "Quiet, boy." Tom's voice was a snarl, pointing. "That dog's a liability. I'll have it trapped." The payback hit with a chuckle. Tom's boot slipped on moss, his voice a yelp. "Damn it." Ellie's voice was dry, smirking. "Watch your step, Hayes." The tension spiked, coyote howls echoing closer, Ruby's growl fierce, hurting Rex inside. Ellie's voice was urgent to Tom. "Get out, or you're coyote bait." Tom's voice was venomous, retreating. "This ain't over, Carter." Ellie's voice was steady, radioing Jake. "Hurry, Jake. Coyotes and Tom." Jake's voice was grim. "On my way." "Stay low." Ellie's voice was soft to Ruby. "You've got this, girl." Dr. Laura Bennett, 45, blonde hair, vet coat crisp, arrived, voice calm. "Ellie," Jake called. Her eyes widened at the den, voice stunned. "They're thriving!" Ellie's voice was urgent, showing footage. "But Tom's threatening them, Laura." Laura's voice was sharp, examining tracks. "Coyotes are bold. Ruby's stressed. Rex's barking's a problem." Ellie's voice was tense, nodding. "He's learning, but it's risky." The forest's code, survive or perish, tightened its grip, coyote shadows circling. Ellie's voice was low, pulling out Rex's tag. "Laura, this breeder. Any leads?" Laura's voice was thoughtful, scanning it. "Shut down last year. Rumors of illegal sales." "Tom's tied to it." Ellie's voice was a gasp, gripping her camera. "He sold Rex?" Laura's voice was grim, nodding. "Maybe. We need proof." The twist hit like a thunderclap. Clara Evans, 60, silver hair, sweater loose, rushed up, voice breathless. "Ellie, found this in my shop." She held a crumpled note, scrawled in haste. "Pine Hollow pup sold to Hayes, $500, 2024. Ellie's voice was choked, grabbing it. "Tom bought Rex, then dumped him?" Clara's voice was urgent, nodding. "My cousin worked for that breeder. Saw Tom." Ellie's voice was fierce to Laura. "He's going down." Ruby's yip cut through, her amber eyes blazing, nudging Rex and the kits deeper into the den as coyote howls neared. Ellie's voice was resolute to Clara. "Keep this safe, Clara." Rex's whine was soft, his golden-brown fur pressed against Ruby, a canine hero caught in a wild mother's embrace. Laura's voice was steady to Ellie. "We'll protect them, but Tom's dangerous." Ellie's voice was tense to Ruby. "I'm with you, girl." The pines loomed, Pine Hollow's secrets unraveling, and Ellie's bond with Rex and Ruby was a spark that could expose Tom or draw the forest's predators closer. The Pine Hollow wilderness roared under a Montana twilight, its dense pines lashed by a howling storm, the air thick with rain and the acrid tang of wet earth. Thunder cracked, lightning splitting the sky, illuminating a hidden den beneath gnarled oak roots where Ruby, a red fox, her russet fur soaked, shielded Rex, a German shepherd puppy, golden brown coat matted, now 12 weeks old. 3 fox kits huddled close, their spotted fur fluffed, tawny eyes wide with fear, as Ruby's amber eyes blazed, a mother's instinct fierce against the gale. Ellie Carter, 32, brown hair plastered under a drenched hiking jacket, crouched in her blind, camera shaking in her hands, voice a shout over the wind. "Hang on, Ruby!" Rex's whine was sharp, his tiny frame pressed against Ruby, a canine soul clinging to his wild mother, inspired by real tales of interspecies courage. The storm's fury drowned out the forest's hum, but a chilling howl cut through, coyotes drawn by the chaos, their shadows circling the den. Ellie's voice was tense, gripping her radio. Jake, where are you? Jake Ramsey, 40, black hair, flannel shirt sodden, crackled back, voice strained. Ellie, I'm stuck. Trail's flooded. Coyotes are on you. Ellie's voice was a growl, scanning the ridge. I'm not leaving them. Ruby's growl was fierce, hurting the kits and Rex deeper, but the den's entrance shuddered, mud sliding under the deluge. Ellie's voice was urgent to Ruby. Stay put, girl. The discovery of Tom Hayes's note, linking him to Rex's abandonment and Ellie's mom's bond with Ruby, had fueled her resolve. But now, nature's wrath and coyote hunger threatened everything. Ellie's voice was soft to Rex. You're tough, pup. The coyotes closed in, three gaunt shapes slinking through the rain, yellow eyes glinting, drawn by the kit's faint yips. Ellie's voice was a shout, grabbing a stick. Back off! Ruby's snarl erupted, her russet frame a blur, lunging at the lead coyote, teeth snapping, but a second circled, eyeing Rex. Ellie's voice was desperate, swinging the stick. Get away! Rex's yip was bold, his golden-brown fur bristling, mimicking Ruby's stance, a canine heart defying his size, inspired by real tales of pups standing tall. A shot rang out, the coyotes scattering, and Ellie's voice was a gasp, turning. Who's there? Tom Hayes, 50, gray hair, vest drenched, stood on the ridge, rifle raised, voice hoarse. Carter, get down! Ellie's voice was cold, gripping her camera. Tom, you're saving us now? Tom's voice was raw, lowering the gun. I didn't start this, but I'm ending it. Jake burst through the trees, voice shouting, Ellie, you okay? His flannel shirt clung to him, eyes wide at Tom, voice sharp. What's he doing here? Tom's voice was tense, stepping closer. I followed you, saw the coyotes. Ellie's voice was fierce, pointing. You dumped Rex. I've got proof. Tom's voice was choked, shaking his head. I was in deep, Ellie. Debt, bad people. I didn't mean for this. The payback hit with a chuckle. Tom's rifle slipped in the mud, his voice a yelp. Damn it! Jake's voice was dry, smirking. Smooth haze. Ellie's voice was steady to Jake. He's telling the truth. Help me with the den. The storm surged, rain blinding, the den's entrance collapsing, trapping Ruby, Rex, and the kits. Ellie's voice was a scream, clawing at the mud. No! Ruby's yip was frantic, her russet fur visible through a gap, digging for her babies. Rex's bark was sharp, his tiny paws scraping, a canine hero fighting for his family, inspired by real tales of survival. Jake's voice was urgent, grabbing a branch. Pull, Ellie! Tom's voice was gruff, joining. I've got it! They heaved, mud giving way, revealing Ruby shielding Rex, the kits safe beneath her. Ellie's voice was sobbing, reaching for Rex. You're okay, pup! Ruby's amber eyes met hers, steady as she nudged Rex to Ellie's arms, his golden-brown fur warm despite the cold. Sophie's voice was soft, hugging him. You're so brave. Jake's voice was tense to Tom. Why help, Hayes? What's your game? Tom's voice was raw, rain streaming down his face. I owed a kid once. Left him with a pup. Rex was his... I messed up. The twist hit like lightning. Dr. Laura Bennett, 45, blonde hair, vet coat soaked, rushed up, voice breathless. Ellie, I traced the tag. She held a police report, voice stunned. Tom's son. He died in a crash. Rex was his puppy. Ellie's voice was a gasp, staring at Tom. You abandoned your son's dog? Tom's voice was broken, tears falling. I couldn't face it. I'm sorry. Ruby's growl was soft, her russet frame pressing against Rex, amber eyes forgiving, a wild mother sensing his pain, inspired by real tales of redemption. Grace's voice was cold to Tom. You're not off the hook, Hayes. Tom's voice was steady, nodding. I'll make it right, starting now. Jake's voice was urgent. To Ellie, we need to move them. Coyotes'll be back. Ellie's voice was resolute, cradling Rex. Ruby's den's gone. Where do we go? Laura's voice was calm to Ellie. My clinic, safe for now. Ruby's yip was sharp, leading her kits, trusting Ellie to carry Rex, a fragile alliance forged in the storm. The pines loomed, Pine Hollow's secrets burning bright, and Ellie's bond with Rex and Ruby was a spark that could save them or draw Tom's past debts crashing down. The Pine Hollow wilderness lay hushed under a Montana dawn, its towering pines cloaked in a silver mist, the air sharp with cedar and the faint tang of rain-soaked earth. The storm's aftermath left the forest scarred, muddy trails snaking through shattered branches, but a quiet resilience pulsed in the air. At Dr. Laura Bennett's veterinary clinic, a low brick building on the edge of town, Rex, a German shepherd puppy, golden brown coat now sleeker at 3 months old, sprawled in a padded crate, his blue eyes softer, tail thumping weakly. Ruby, a red fox, her russet fur damp, crouched nearby, amber eyes locked on her 3 fox kits, sleek, spotted, and restless, huddled in a separate enclosure. Ellie Carter, 32, brown hair loose under a worn hiking jacket, sat cross-legged, voice a whisper, stroking Rex. You're safe now, pup. Rex's whine was soft, his canine heart tethered to Ruby, who'd saved him from starvation and coyotes, a bond defying nature, inspired by real tales of interspecies devotion. Ellie's voice was choked. To Dr. Laura Bennett, 45, blonde hair tied back, vet coat crisp. They're okay, right, Laura? Laura's voice was calm, checking Ruby's kits. Physically, yes, but they're stressed. Separation's tough. Ruby's yip was sharp, her russet frame pacing, amber eyes darting to Rex, a mother's instinct torn by the clinic's sterile walls. Grace's voice was tense, rubbing her temples. To Jake Ramsey, 40, black hair, flannel shirt dusty, leaning against the door. Jake, we can't keep them here forever. Jake's voice was grim, adjusting his ranger badge. Coyotes'll find 'em in the wild, Ellie, and Tom's still a problem. The wildfire had destroyed Ruby's den, forcing them to the clinic, and Tom Hayes's confession. Abandoning Rex, his late son's puppy, had shaken Ellie, but his ties to shady deals hinted at deeper threats. Ellie's voice was fierce, gripping Rex's tag. Tom's not touching them. Sophie's voice was soft to Rex, nuzzling him. You're so brave, huh? Rex's tail wagged, his golden brown fur warm, amber eyes flicking to Ruby, sensing her unease. Laura's voice was urgent to Ellie. Their bond's incredible, but Rex's barking draws predators. Ruby's teaching him, but he's a dog. Ellie's voice was steady, nodding. They need a safe place, both of them. Jake's voice was sharp, glancing outside. Sheriff's coming. Wants to talk about Tom. The clinic's fluorescent hum masked the tension, but a knock shattered it. Sheriff Dan Cole, 50, gray hair, badge glinting, stepped in, voice stern. Ellie, got a problem. Tom's out on bail, claiming you stole his dog. Ellie's voice was cold, standing. Rex, he dumped him. I've got the note. Dan's voice was gruff, holding up a hand. Show me. Ellie's voice was urgent, pulling Clara's crumpled note from her pocket. Here. Tom bought Rex, then abandoned him. Dan's voice was thoughtful, reading. This is damning, Carter. But Tom's got friends. Big ones. Jake's voice was tense to Dan. He's tied to land deals, Sheriff. That fire wasn't random. Laura's voice was sharp to Ellie. Tom's desperate. He'll target Rex to shut you up. Sophie's voice was trembling, clutching her locket. He can't take Rex, can he? Ruby's growl was low, amber eyes blazing, her russet frame shifting closer to her kits, sensing the threat. Ellie's voice was resolute to Dan. "I'm protecting them. Rex, Ruby, the kits." Dan's voice was steady, nodding. "Keep that note safe. I'll dig into Tom." The tension spiked. Clara Evans, 60, silver hair, sweater loose, rushing in, voice breathless. "Ellie found this in my shop's old files." She held a faded ledger, pages scrawled with transactions. Ellie's voice was a gasp, grabbing it. "What's this?" Clara's voice was urgent, flipping it open. "My cousin worked for that breeder. Tom sold pups to shady buyers off the books." Ellie's voice was stunned, reading, "German Shepherd, Pine Hollow, $500 to Hayes, 2024. It's Rex." Laura's voice was sharp, to Dan. "This links Tom to illegal trade, Sheriff." Dan's voice was grim, pocketing a photo of the page, enough to hold him. "Hold." "Stay sharp, Carter." The forest's code, survive or perish, loomed over the clinic, coyote tracks circling closer, Tom's shadow growing. Ellie's voice was low to Jake. "We need a plan, somewhere safe." Jake's voice was steady, checking his radio. "There's a preserve, an hour out. They take wildlife, maybe dogs too." Sophie's voice was soft to Ruby. "You'll like it, won't you?" Ruby's yip was faint, her russet fur brushing Rex, amber eyes trusting, a wild mother bound to her canine son. The twist hit like a thunderclap. Laura's voice was stunned, pulling Ellie aside, holding a worn journal. "Found this in my office, your mom's notes." Ellie's voice was choked, opening it. "Mom's?" Pages detailed Ruby's rescue as a kit, her mother's handwriting clear. "Ruby trusts humans, saved by me, 2015. She'll protect again." Ellie's voice was a sob, tears falling. "Mom saved Ruby. Led her to Rex?" Rex's whine was deep, pressing against Ellie, amber eyes blazing. A canine hero tied to a legacy, inspired by real tales of maternal instinct across species. Emma's voice was urgent to Ellie. "Your mom knew Ruby'd save him." Sophie's voice was faint, clutching her locket. "Your mom's helping us, isn't she?" Ruby's growl was soft, nudging her kits. Amber eyes locked on Rex, her russet frame a bridge to the past. Jake's voice was tense to Dan. "Tom's goons are out there, Sheriff." "Saw him near the trail." Dan's voice was sharp, grabbing his radio. "I'm calling backup. Stay here." Ellie's voice was resolute to Laura. "We're moving them. Preserve. Tonight." Laura's voice was steady, preparing a crate. "I'll help. Rex needs Ruby." Rex's yip was bold, his golden-brown fur fluffed, mimicking Ruby's stance. A canine heart ready to fight. Ellie's voice was soft to Rex. "You're our miracle, pup." Ruby's yip was clear, leading her kits to the crate, trusting Ellie, a fragile family facing a new dawn. Tom's voice echoed from the shadows, his truck idling outside. "You can't hide, Carter." Ellie's voice was fierce to Jake. "He's not stopping us." The pines loomed, Pine Hollow's secrets unraveling, and Ellie's bond with Rex and Ruby was a spark that could forge a new home, or ignite Tom's deadly vendetta. The Pine Hollow wilderness lay cloaked in a Montana dusk, its towering pines casting jagged shadows under a crimson sky, the air thick with cedar and the lingering chill of autumn. The Cascade Ridge Preserve, a sprawling sanctuary an hour from Pine Hollow, hummed with urgency as Ellie Harper, 32, brown hair loose under a battered hiking jacket, guided a crate through a forested trail. Inside, Rex, a German Shepherd puppy, now 4 months old, golden brown fur sleek, whined softly, his blue eyes darting, a canine soul tethered to Ruby, a red fox, whose russet fur glinted as she paced nearby, her 3 kits, Shadow, Flicker, and Ember, yipping in a second crate. Ellie's voice was a whisper, stroking Rex. "You're home now, pup." Ruby's amber eyes flicked to Ellie, her body tense, a mother's instinct wary in this new terrain, inspired by real tales of interspecies devotion. Ellie's voice was choked to Dr. Laura Bennett, 45, blonde hair tied back, vet coat crisp. "They'll be safe here, right, Laura?" Laura's voice was calm, checking Shadow's crate. "The preserve's secure. Fenced habitats, no coyotes." Jake Ramsey, 40, black hair, flannel shirt dusty, hauled gear, voice gruff. "Tom's still out there, Ellie. Sheriff's watching, but he's got pull." Ellie's voice was fierce, gripping Rex's tag. "He's not touching them." The wildfire, Tom Hayes' schemes, and the revelation of Ellie's mom's bond with Ruby had pushed them to this sanctuary. But Ruby's growing unease and Rex's barks in the wild signaled a breaking point. Sophie's voice was soft to Rex, nuzzling him. "You're so brave, huh?" Rex's tail wagged, his golden-brown fur warm, amber eyes flicking to Ruby, sensing her restlessness. Grace's voice was tense to Clara Evans, 60, silver hair, sweater loose, unloading supplies. "Clara, the kits are wilder now. Can they adapt?" Clara's voice was warm, smiling. "Ruby trusts you, Ellie." "They'll learn." The preserve's vast meadows and dense woods offered safety, but Ruby's maternal bond with Rex clashed with her kit's need for freedom. Ellie's voice was low to Laura. "She's torn. Rex isn't a fox. He's slowing them." Laura's voice was thoughtful, adjusting Flicker's tag. "They're 5 months old. Hunting, roaming." "Rex tries, but he's canine." Jake's voice was sharp, scanning the horizon. "And Tom's goons are sniffing around. Saw a truck near the gate." Ellie's voice was a growl, clutching her camera. "He wants my footage. Proof of his deals." The note linking Tom to Rex's abandonment and his ties to illegal breeding had made him a target, but his release on bail spelled danger. The tension spiked, a low yip from Ruby drawing Ellie's gaze. Ruby nudged Rex, her russet frame guiding him away from the kits, who darted into the underbrush, their tawny eyes glinting. Ellie's voice was a gasp to Laura. "She's separating them." Laura's voice was soft, watching. "She knows Rex can't keep up. It's her way." Sophie's voice was a sob, hugging Rex. "No, Ruby. He's yours." Rex's whine was raw, his golden-brown fur trembling, amber eyes locked on Ruby, a canine heartbreaking, inspired by real tales of mothers choosing survival. Grace's voice was urgent to Jake. "We need to crate her kits, keep 'em safe." Jake's voice was tense, grabbing a net. "Ruby won't like it." Ellie's voice was fierce, stepping forward. "Let her choose." Ruby's yip was sharp, her amber eyes meeting Ellie's, a fleeting trust before she led the kits back, nudging them toward the crate. Ellie's voice was choked to Ruby. "You're letting him go, aren't you?" Ruby's russet frame brushed Rex, a final lick to his muzzle, her kits following her lead. A truck's rumble shattered the quiet. Tom Hayes, 50, gray hair, vest rumpled, stepping out, voice slick. "Carter, nice hideout." Ellie's voice was cold, gripping her camera. "Get lost, Tom." Tom's voice was mocking, eyeing Rex. "That mutt's mine. Stolen property." Jake's voice was sharp, rifle raised. "Back off, Hayes." Laura's voice was tense, to Ellie. "He's bluffing. Stall him." Sophie's voice was trembling to Rex. "Stay with us, boy." Tom's voice was a snarl, stepping closer. "Hand over the footage or I take the dog." Ellie's voice was fierce, holding up the camera. This exposes you, Tom. Breeding, land grabs. The payback hit with a chuckle. Tom's boot caught a crate, tumbling, his voice a yelp. Damn it! Clara's voice was dry, smirking. Clumsy Hayes. Rex's bark was bold, his golden brown fur bristling, amber eyes blazing, a canine protector standing tall despite his youth. The twist hit like a thunderclap. Sheriff Dan Cole's cruiser screeched up. Dan, 50, gray hair, badge glinting, voice stern. Hayes, you're under arrest. Fraud, coercion. Tom's voice was a shout, lunging for Ellie's camera. No! But Ruby's snarl erupted, her russet frame a blur, snapping at Tom's ankle, forcing him back. Ellie's voice was a gasp to Ruby. You're guarding us? Dan's voice was sharp, cuffing Tom. You're done, Hayes. Tom's voice was broken, slumping. I didn't mean to hurt the kid's pup. Ellie's voice was stunned to Dan. Kid? Dan's voice was grim, nodding. Tom's son. Rex was his. Crash took him. Tom couldn't cope. Ellie's voice was choked, tears falling. You threw him away. Rex's whine was deep, pressing against Ruby. Amber eyes locked on her. A canine hero caught in a father's guilt, inspired by real tales of redemption through loss. Ruby's yip was soft, nudging her kits away, her russet frame turning, amber eyes lingering on Rex, a mother's farewell. Grace's voice was raw to Ellie. She's leaving him with you. Sophie's voice was sobbing, hugging Rex. Don't go, Ruby. Ellie's voice was steady to Ruby. You saved him. Thank you. Ruby's amber eyes held hers, a final trust, before she vanished into the pines, her kits trailing, a wild family freed. Jake's voice was tense to Dan. Tom's goons are still out there. Dan's voice was firm, radioing, I'm calling backup. Preserves secure. Laura's voice was warm to Ellie. Rex needs you now. Ellie's voice was soft, lifting Rex. You're mine, pup. Rex's bark was faint, his golden brown fur warm, amber eyes searching for Ruby, a canine heart torn yet safe. Clara's voice was steady to Ellie. Your mom'd be proud, kid. The pine stood silent, Pine Hollow's secrets unraveling, and Ellie's bond with Rex was a spark that could heal a broken past or face Tom's lingering shadow. The Cascade Ridge Preserve glowed under a Montana dawn, its sprawling meadows and pine-draped hills bathed in a golden haze, the air crisp with sage and the faint musk of dew-soaked earth. The preserve's heart, a vast enclosure of rocky outcrops and dense thickets, hummed with quiet life, where Ruby, a red fox, her russet fur sleek, led her 3 kits, Shadow, Flicker, and Ember, now 6 months old, their spotted coats fading to tawny elegance. Rex, a German shepherd puppy, 4.5 months old, golden brown fur thick, bounded nearby, his amber eyes bright, a canine hero torn between worlds, inspired by real tales of interspecies courage. Ellie Carter, 32, brown hair loose under a hiking jacket, stood at the enclosure's edge, camera slung across her chest, voice a whisper. You're growing fast, Rex. Rex's bark was sharp, mimicking Shadow's stealthy pounce, his golden brown frame clumsier but eager, a canine soul still tied to Ruby's wild lessons, though her amber eyes held a new wariness, sensing his canine instincts clashing with her kit's feral grace. Ellie's voice was soft, snapping photos. You're their brother, aren't you? Ruby's yip was gentle, nudging Flicker, but her gaze lingered on Rex, a mother's love strained by nature's divide. Ellie's voice was choked to Dr. Laura Bennett, 45, blonde hair tied back, vet coat crisp. Laura, Ruby's pulling away, isn't she? Laura's voice was calm, checking Ember's tag. She's preparing them, Ellie. Wild foxes roam alone. Rex can't follow. Jake Ramsey, 40, black hair, flannel shirt dusty, leaned on a fence, voice gruff. And Tom's goons are still out there, Ellie. Sheriff's got eyes on 'em, but they're bold. The wildfire, Tom Hayes' arrest, and Ruby's departure from Rex had shaken the Pine Hollow wilderness, but the preserve offered sanctuary, yet danger loomed. Ellie's voice was fierce, gripping her camera. They're safe here. Tom's done. Sophie's voice was soft to Rex, tossing a stick. You're so strong, boy. Rex's tail wagged, his amber eyes gleaming, bounding after it, a canine heart thriving despite Ruby's distance. Clara Evans, 60, silver hair, sweater loose, arrived with supplies, voice warm. Ellie, the preserve's buzzing. Your footage is viral. Ellie's voice was tense to Clara. Good, but it's painting a target. Tom's crew wants it. The note, ledger, and Ellie's mom's journal, linking Ruby's rescue to her past, had exposed Tom's illegal breeding, but his release on bail fueled his desperation. The tension spiked, a low yip from Ember drawing Ellie's gaze. The smallest kit limped, her tawny fur matted, a festering bite on her flank. Ellie's voice was a gasp, rushing forward. Ember's hurt! Ruby's snarl was fierce, her russet frame shielding her kit, amber eyes blazing at Ellie's approach. Laura's voice was urgent, grabbing a kit. Infection, coyote bite maybe. We need her in the clinic. Sophie's voice was trembling to Ruby. Let us help, please. Ellie's voice was steady, kneeling. Ruby, trust me. Ruby's amber eyes held hers, a fleeting trust before stepping back, allowing Ellie to scoop Ember. Rex's whine was raw, his golden brown fur pressed against Ruby, amber eyes locked on his struggling sister, a canine hero sensing her pain, inspired by real tales of animals seeking aid. Jake's voice was sharp to Laura. Clinic's ready. Let's move. Clara's voice was tense, grabbing a crate. Hurry, Ellie. The clinic, a sterile haven on the preserve's edge, buzzed with urgency, fluorescent lights stark against the dawn. Laura's voice was calm, prepping antibiotics. It's bad but treatable, if she fights. Ellie's voice was choked, holding Ember. She's tough, like Ruby. Ruby paced outside, her russet frame visible through a window, yipping softly, her kits huddled nearby. Rex's bark was bold, his golden brown fur fluffed, staying close to Ruby, a canine guardian bridging worlds. A truck's rumble shattered the quiet. Tom Hayes, 50, gray hair, vest rumpled, stepping out, voice slick, flanked by two rough men. Carter, nice setup. Ellie's voice was cold, gripping her camera. Get out, Tom. Tom's voice was mocking, eyeing Rex. That mutt's my ticket. Give me the footage or we take him. Jake's voice was sharp, rifle raised. Try it, Hayes. Laura's voice was tense to Ellie. Stall. Sheriff's on the way. Sophie's voice was trembling to Rex. Stay, boy. Rex's growl was fierce, his amber eyes blazing, golden brown fur bristling, standing between Ruby and Tom's men, a canine protector defying his youth. Ruby's snarl joined his, her russet frame a blur, circling her kits, amber eyes locked on the threat. Ellie's voice was fierce to Tom. You're finished. Sheriff's got your ledger. Tom's voice was a snarl, lunging for the camera. No proof. The payback hit with a chuckle. Tom's foot caught a crate, sprawling, his voice a yelp. Damn it. Clara's voice was dry, smirking. Clumsy as ever, Hayes. The twist hit like a thunderclap. Sheriff Dan Cole's cruiser screeched up. Dan, 50, gray hair, badge glinting, voice stern. Hayes, you're done. New evidence, witness testimony. Tom's voice was a shout, scrambling. You got nothing. But Clara's voice was sharp, holding a USB. Tom's deals, recorded by my cousin, you're sunk. Dan's voice was grim, cuffing Tom. You're going away, Hayes. Tom's voice was broken, slumping. I just wanted to forget him. Ellie's voice was stunned. To Dan. His son? Dan's voice was soft, nodding. Tom's kid loved Rex. Grief broke him. Rex's whine was deep, pressing against Ellie. Amber eyes locked on Ruby, a canine hero caught in a father's pain, inspired by real tales of redemption through loss. Ruby's yip was gentle, nudging Ember's crate, her russet frame calm, Amber eyes trusting Laura's care. Laura's voice was urgent, injecting Ember. She's stabilizing. Rex, Ruby, you kept her alive. Ellie's voice was choked to Ruby. You brought her to us. Ruby's amber eyes held hers, a mother's gratitude, before leading Shadow and Flicker back to the enclosure, her kits stronger. Sophie's voice was soft to Rex. You're a hero, boy. Rex's bark was bold, his golden brown fur warm, amber eyes gleaming, a canine guardian bridging wild and tame. Jake's voice was tense, to Dan. Tom's crew's still out there. Dan's voice was firm, radioing. Got patrols on it, preserves locked down. Clara's voice was warm to Ellie. Your mom'd be proud, kid. Ellie's voice was steady to Laura. Ember's safe, now what? Laura's voice was thoughtful to Ellie. They stay together, here, protected. Rex's whine was soft, his golden brown frame pressing against Ellie. Amber eyes searching for Ruby, a canine hero forging a new path. The pines stood silent. Pine Hollow's secrets laid bare, and Ellie's bond with Rex and Ruby was a spark that healed a wounded kit. But could it withstand the shadows of Tom's past? The Cascade Ridge Preserve shimmered under a Montana spring, its rolling meadows and pine-draped hills bursting with wildflowers, the air sweet with sage and the faint tang of fresh earth. The preserve's heart, a vast enclosure of rocky outcrops and tangled thickets, pulsed with vibrant life, where Rex, a German shepherd, now 6 months old, his golden brown coat thick and glossy, bounded through the grass, amber eyes gleaming. Ruby, a red fox, her russet fur sleek, led her 3 kits, Shadow, Flicker, and Ember, now 7 months old, their tawny coats sleek, weaving through the underbrush with feral grace. Ellie Carter, 32, brown hair loose under a faded hiking jacket, stood on a ridge, camera in hand, voice a whisper. You're thriving, Rex. Rex's bark was bold, his canine frame stronger, mimicking Shadow's stealthy stalk, a hero bridging worlds, inspired by real tales of interspecies harmony. Ruby's amber eyes flicked to him, her yip gentle guiding Ember, healed from her coyote bite, back to the pack, a mother's bond with Rex, evolving from nurture to partnership. Ellie's voice was soft, snapping photos. You're their brother, aren't you? Doctor. Laura Bennett, 45, blonde hair tied back, vet coat crisp, joined her, voice warm. They're a family, Ellie, wild, but together. Ellie's voice was choked, watching Rex. After everything, fire, Tom, Ember's bite, they're safe. The Pine Hollow wilderness had tested them, with Tom Hayes's schemes, Ruby's parting, and Ember's rescue forging their path to this sanctuary. Laura's voice was thoughtful, checking a tablet. Your footage is global. Scientists want to study their bond. Ellie's voice was tense, gripping her camera. But Tom's crew's still out there. Sheriff's watching, but they're sneaky. Jake Ramsey, 40, black hair, flannel shirt dusty, patrolled nearby, voice gruff. Got new tracks, ATVs near the gate. They're hunting your evidence, Ellie. Clara Evans, 60, silver hair, sweater loose, arrived with supplies, voice steady. Board's backing you, Ellie. Tom's ledger's in court. Ellie's voice was fierce to Clara. Good! He's not touching them. Rex's whine was soft, his golden brown fur brushing Ruby, amber eyes alert, a canine guardian sensing the preserve's pulse, inspired by real tales of loyalty. The enclosure buzzed, volunteers setting up a research station, the kits darting through logs, Rex trailing, his bark echoing. Sophie's voice was bright, tossing a ball. Go, Rex! Rex bounded, returning it, his amber eyes locked on her, a canine hero thriving in his dual role. Ruby's yip was sharp, teaching Flicker to hunt mice, her russet frame a beacon, but her gaze lingered on Rex, a mother's pride tempered by his growing canine strength. The tension spiked, a low growl from Shadow drawing Ellie's gaze. The kit froze, ears pinned, spotting a coyote slinking beyond the fence. Ellie's voice was a gasp, grabbing her radio. Jake! Coyote! East fence! Jake's voice was urgent, sprinting. On it! Ruby's snarl erupted, her russet frame a blur, herding her kits behind a rock, amber eyes blazing. Rex's bark was fierce, his golden brown fur bristling, charging the fence, a canine protector defying his youth, inspired by real tales of pups facing predators. Laura's voice was sharp to Ellie. Get Rex back. He's too young. Ellie's voice was desperate, running. Rex, come! But Rex stood firm, his amber eyes locked on the coyote, growling, until Jake's shot rang out, the coyote fleeing. Ellie's voice was sobbing, hugging Rex. You're crazy, pup. Ruby's yip was soft, nudging Rex, her russet fur warm, amber eyes grateful, a wild mother trusting his courage. Sophie's voice was trembling to Ruby. You're so brave, too. A truck's rumble shattered the calm, Sheriff Dan Cole's cruiser pulling up. Dan, 50, gray hair, badge glinting, voice grim. Ellie, trouble. Tom's crew hit a ranger station, stole gear. They're after your camera. Ellie's voice was cold, gripping it. They're not getting it. Jake's voice was tense, to Dan. They're armed, Sheriff. Preserve's locked down, but Clara's voice was urgent, holding a phone. Got a tip. Tom's testifying against his bosses to cut a deal. Ellie's voice was stunned, to Dan. Tom's flipping? Dan's voice was steady, nodding. He's naming names, mafia types, land grabs. Wants protection. Laura's voice was sharp to Ellie. He's saving his skin, but it helps us. Ellie's voice was resolute to Jake. We're keeping them safe. Rex, Ruby, the kits. Rex's bark was bold, his golden brown fur pressed against Ruby, amber eyes blazing, a canine hero anchoring their family. The twist hit like a thunderclap. Clara's voice was breathless, pulling Ellie aside, holding a DNA report. Laura tested Rex, 15% wolf ancestry. Ellie's voice was a gasp, grabbing it. Wolf? Laura's voice was stunned, nodding. Explains his bond with Ruby. Wild instincts, canine loyalty. He's a bridge. Sophie's voice was soft to Rex, tears welling. You're special, boy. Rex's whine was deep, his amber eyes locked on Ruby, his golden brown frame a canine hybrid inspired by real tales of wolf dogs blending worlds. Ellie's voice was choked to Laura. That's why Ruby chose him. Ruby's yip was gentle, her russet frame circling the kits, amber eyes guiding Rex, a mother's trust in his unique spirit. The payback hit with a chuckle. A volunteer, rushing to help, dropped a crate, their voice a yelp. Dang it! Clara's laugh was warm. Careful, kid. But the hum of ATVs grew, headlights piercing the dusk, Tom's men closing in. Ellie's voice was fierce to Dan. They're here! Dan's voice was sharp, drawing his gun. Stay back! Jake's rifle was up, voice steady. Ellie, Get to the safe house. Ellie's heart raced, her voice urgent, crating Rex. Come on, boy. Ruby's snarl was fierce, her russet kits darting to safety, amber eyes blazing, ready to fight. A shot grazed the fence, sparks flying, and Ellie's voice screamed, Run! Rex's bark was thunderous, his golden-brown fur a blur, guiding Ruby's kits through a tunnel, a canine hero, defying the odds. They reached the safe house, a reinforced cabin, Laura slamming the door, voice tense. We're secure! Ellie's voice was sobbing, hugging Rex. You saved them, pup! Ruby's yip was soft, her russet frame curling around her kits, amber eyes locked on Ellie, a wild mother's gratitude. Sophie's voice was bright, to Rex. You're our hero! Dan's voice crackled through the radio. Got 'em. 3 down. 1's talking. Tom's testimonies live. Ellie's voice was steady to Laura. We're building something here, aren't we? Laura's voice was warm, smiling. A sanctuary for them, for us. Rex's whine was gentle, his golden-brown fur warm, amber eyes gleaming, a canine hero forging a new family. The pines stood silent, Pine Hollow's legacy reborn, and Ellie's bond with Rex and Ruby was a spark that could reshape the wild. But could it withstand the Mafia's final strike? The Cascade Ridge Preserve burst with life under a Montana summer sun, its rolling meadows and pine-draped hills ablaze with wildflowers, the air sweet with sage and the warm tang of sun-baked earth. The preserve, now a global beacon of interspecies harmony, hosted its first Wild Bonds Day, a vibrant festival sprawling across its fields, colorful banners proclaiming family knows no bounds. Townsfolk packed the grounds, their cheers mingling with the playful yips of animals and the hum of hope. Ellie Carter, 32, brown hair loose under a faded hiking jacket, stood on a stage, camera slung across her chest, voice clear, holding a ribbon. Rex, you're our hero. Rex, a German shepherd, now 8 months old, his golden-brown coat, thick and radiant, pranced beside her, amber eyes gleaming, a service vest adorned with a gold badge, Cascade Guardian. He nudged Ruby, a red fox, her russet fur sleek, who led her 3 kits, Shadow, Flicker, and Ember, now 9 months old, their tawny coats shimmering, weaving through a playful obstacle course. Ellie's voice was choked, smiling. You brought us together, Ruby. Ruby's amber eyes flicked to Rex, her yip gentle, a mother's pride in her canine son, inspired by real tales of interspecies families. Dr. Laura Bennett, 45, blonde hair tied back, vet coat crisp, clapped from the crowd, voice warm. They're rewriting nature, Ellie. Jake Ramsey, 40, black hair, flannel shirt rolled up, stood nearby, voice gruff. And you stopped Tom, hero in your own right. The Pine Hollow wilderness had tested them. Wildfire, Tom Hayes's schemes, Ember's rescue, and Rex's wolf ancestry, forging their path to this sanctuary. Ellie's voice was soft to Clara Evans, 60, silver hair, sweater loose. Clara, we did it, didn't we? Clara's voice was choked, nodding. Your mom'd be proud, kid. The festival pulsed, booths offering fox-friendly treats, kids painting Rex Ruby signs, the kit's graceful leaps drawing gasps. Rex's bark was bold, his golden-brown frame bounding after Shadow, amber eyes bright, a canine hero thriving in his dual role, while Ruby's russet fur glinted, guiding Flicker, her maternal bond with Rex now a partnership. Ellie's voice was bright to the crowd. They taught us family isn't species, it's love. The tension spiked, a low yip from Ember drawing Ellie's gaze. The kit froze, ears pinned, spotting a stranger near the enclosure, a man in a dark jacket, camera flashing. Ellie's voice was a gasp, gripping her radio. "Jake! Suspicious guy! Northgate!" Jake's voice was urgent, sprinting. "On it!" Ruby's snarl was fierce, her russet frame herding her kits behind a log, amber eyes blazing. Rex's growl was thunderous, his golden-brown fur bristling, charging the fence, a canine protector ready to fight, inspired by real tales of guardians facing threats. Laura's voice was sharp to Ellie. "Get Rex back. Could be Tom's crew." Ellie's voice was desperate, running. "Rex, heal!" But Rex stood firm, his amber eyes locked on the stranger, barking, until Sheriff Dan Cole, 50, gray hair, badge glinting, tackled the man, voice stern. "Hands up!" Ellie's voice was a shout to Dan. "Who is he?" Dan's voice was grim, cuffing him. "Hired thug. Tom's last play. He's talking." Ellie's heart raced, her voice tense to Jake. "Check the perimeter." Jake's voice was steady, radioing. "Clear, so far." Clara's voice was breathless, rushing up. "Ellie, found this in town." She held a sealed envelope marked Pine Hollow, 2015, Evie Carter. Ellie's voice was a gasp, tearing it open. "Mom's." A letter spilled out, Evie's handwriting clear. "Ruby's my spark, saved for a purpose. Protect her kin." A photo fell. Evie holding a young Ruby, a German Shepherd pup at her feet, labeled Rex's sire. The twist hit like a thunderclap. Ellie's voice was choked, tears falling. "Rex's dad. Mom saved Ruby for this?" Laura's voice was stunned, reading, "Evie bred wolf dogs for rescue. Rex's lineage." Ellie's voice was a sob to Rex. "Your mom's gift, aren't you?" Rex's whine was deep, his golden-brown frame pressing against her, amber eyes locked on Ruby, a canine hero fulfilling a legacy inspired by real tales of destined bonds. Ruby's yip was soft, her russet fur brushing Rex, amber eyes gleaming, a wild mother's trust in their shared path. The crowd roared, chanting, "Rex, Ruby!" Shadow pounced on Flicker, Ember joining, their bond with Rex a living tapestry across the meadow. Dan's voice was warm to Ellie. "Tom's crew's done, his testimony's breaking the mafia." Jake's voice was gruff, smiling. "You're clear, Carter." Ellie's voice was clear to the crowd. "My mom saved Ruby to find Rex. They taught us love crosses all lines." Cheers erupted, cameras flashing, the festival a testament to their triumph. The message shone clear. Love transcends species, healing the deepest scars, and one woman's bond with a fox and a pup could spark a global movement. Ellie's story, rooted in real tales of interspecies devotion, was Pine Hollow's promise, a testament to courage, trust, and the unbreakable ties that bind us. The meadow glowed under a setting sun, hope lingering, a promise of new beginnings. To everyone watching, Ellie, Rex, and Ruby's journey proves that love conquers all, uniting hearts across boundaries through bravery and trust. Share your story of a loyal pet or a moment of courage in the comments. What's your spark? Subscribe to Pawprints of Hope, join our community, and keep stories like theirs alive, showing that heroes with paws or hearts can change the world.